Ah.
Night falls on Sentinel. By Baoli. Boaley. 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 No music played in the nameless tavern in Sentinel, and indeed there was very little sound except for discreet, cautious murmurs of conversation, the soft pad of the barmaid's feet on stone, and the delicate slurping of the regular patrons, tongues lapping at their flagons, eyes focused on nothing at all if anyone were less otherwise occupied. The sight of the young red-garbed woman in a fine black velvet cape might have aroused surprise, even suspicion. As it was, the strange figure I took place in an underground cellar, so modest it had no sign blended into the shadows. Are you Jamek? The stout, middle-aged man with a face older than his years looked up and nodded. He returned to his drink. Jamek returned to his drinks. The young woman took the seat next to him. My name is Habala, she said, and pulled out a small bag of gold, placing it next to his mug. Sure it be, snarled Jamek, and met her eyes again. Who do you want dead? She did not turn away, but merely asked, is it safe to talk here? No one cares about nobody else's problems but their own here. You could take off your cuirass and dance bare-breasted on the table, and no one even spit, the man smiled. So who do you want dead? No one actually, said Habala. The truth is, I only want someone removed. For a while. Not harmed, you understand, and that's why I need a professional. You come highly recommended. Who you been talking to? Asked Jamek dully, returning to his drink. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. One of them friends don't know what he's talking about, grumbled the man. I don't do that anymore. Habala quietly took out another purse of gold and then another, placing them at the man's elbow. He looked at her for a moment and then poured the gold out and began counting. As he did, he asked, who do you want removed? Just a moment, smiled Habala, shaking her head. Before we talk details, I want to know that you're a professional, and you won't harm this person very much, and that you'll be discreet. You want discreet? The man paused in his counting. All right, I'll tell you about an old job of mine. It's been by RK. I can hardly believe it. More than 20 years and no one but me's alive who... Fuck! It's been an RK. It's been by RK. I can barely believe it. It's been by RK. I can barely believe it. More than 20 years and no one but me alive who had anything to do with the job. This is back before the time of the War of Batoni. Remember that? I was just a baby. Of course he was, Jamek smiled. Everyone knows that King Luthund had an older brother. Grechlith had died, right? And then he's got his older sister, Ibuki, what married that king fella in Daggerfall. But the truth that he had two elder brothers. Really? Habala's eyes glistened with interest. No lie, he chuckled. Weedy, feeble fella called Arthego, the king and queen's firstborn. Anyway, his prince was the heir to this throne, which his parents wasn't too thrilled about, but then the queen, she squeezed out two more princes who looked a lot more fit. That's when me and my boys got hired on to make it look like the first prince got took off by the underking. Or some such story. I had no idea, said the young woman. Of course you didn't, that's the point. Jamek shook his head. Discretion, like you said, was bagged. The boy. Dropped him off deep in an old ruin, and that was that. No fuss, just a couple of fellas, a bag and a club. Oh shoot. That's what I'm interested in, said Habala. Technique. My friends who needs to be taken away is weak also, like this prince. What is the club for? It's a tool. So many things that's what's better in the past ain't around no more. Just 'cause people today prefer ease of use of what works, right? Let me explain. There's 71 prime pain centers in the average fellow's body. Elves and Khajiiti, being so sensitive and all, got 3 and 4 more respectively. Argonians and Slows almost as many as 52 and 67. Jomick used his short stubby finger to point out each region of Habala's body. 6 in your forehead, 2 in your brow, 2 in your nose, 7 in your throat, 10 in your chest, and 9 in your abdomen. 3 on each arm, 12 in your groin, 4 in your favorite leg, 5 in the other. That's 63, replied Habala. No, it's not, growled Jomick. Yes, it is, the young lady cried back, indignant that her mathematical skills were being questioned. 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3, 4 one arm and 3 for the other, plus 12 plus 4 plus 5, 63. I must have left some out, shrugged Jomick. The important thing is that to become skilled with the staff or club, you gotta be a master of 3 pain centers. Done right, a light tap could kill or knock out without so much as a bruise. Fascinating, smiled Habala. And no one ever found out? Why would they? The boy's parents, the king and queen, they're both dead now. The other children always thought the brother got carried off by the underking. That's what everyone thinks. And all my partners are dead. Of natural causes. Ain't nothing natural that ever happens in the bay. You know that. One fella got sucked up by one of them Salunu. Another died with that same plague that took the queen and Prince Greculus. Another fella got himself beat up to death by a burglar. You gotta keep low, out of sight, like me, if you want to stay alive. Jomick finished counting the coins. You must want this fella out of the way bad. Who is it? It's better if I show you, said Habala, standing up without a look back. She strode up the nameless tavern. Jomick drained his beer and went out. The night was cool, with an unrestrained wind surging up the water of the lilac bay, sending leaves flying like whirling shards. Habala stepped out on the alleyway next to the tavern and gestured to him. As he approached her, the breeze blew open her cape, revealing the armor beneath and the crest of the King of Sentinel. The fat man stepped back to flee, but she was too fast. In a blur, he found himself in the alley on his back, the woman's knee pressed firmly against his throat. The king has spent 3 years since he took the throne, looking for you and your collaborators, Jomick. His instructions to me what to do. God damn it. The king has spent 30 years since he took the throne, looking for you and your collaborators, Jomick. His instructions to me what to do when I found you were not specific, but you've given me an idea. From her belt, Habala removed a small, sturdy cudgel. A drunk stumbling out of the bar heard a whimpered moan, accompanied by a soft whisper coming from the darkness of the alley. Let's keep better count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Y'all and Waz got crunch wraps in here?